Houston Sports Talk back into the video day, and today the Las Vegas Raiders have decided to let go of their head coach for the last season and a half, Antonio Pierce. Antonio Pierce has now been let go. Has been with the team the last season and a half. Was the interim head coach when the Raiders last year fired Josh McDaniels, and now Antonio Pierce is no longer the Raiders head coach. Went 9-17 as the head coach. Really brought a spark to the locker room after the firing of Josh McDaniels. I thought the Raiders had an incredible run in 2023 after they decided to let go of Josh McDaniels, because I thought that after everything that Josh McDaniels that would happen for the first eight games of the season, was things were really bad for that Raiders team. I think the Raiders were like 3-5 with Jimmy Garoppolo as the starter when they decided to fire Josh McDaniels. And then here comes Antonio Pierce, and the Raiders team with Aiden O'Connell is able to make a run, and 5-4 doesn't sound like an amazing record, but I think what really bought Antonio Pierce a first full season and a return to Las Vegas was his leadership of the locker room. And I don't think that was as strong this year as it was last year. And if his leadership of the locker room was better if his leadership of the locker room was as good this year as it was for the second half of the season last year, I think the Raiders are way better than a 4-13 team this year. I think it also, a big part of the team doing better is the talent, the product that comes on the field. Quarterback was a big issue of this team. I think maybe more of a issue for this team. Obviously offensively is a big issue. They have one of the worst run games in football. They're not the strongest in the category of quarterback. I wouldn't say they don't have nice skill players on the receiving end when you have Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers. You're not going to say they don't have talent there, or Trey Tucker as well. So they have talent there. I think defensively might be a bigger issue for this team than it is offensively. They have one of the worst run defenses in football, one of the worst pass defenses in football. Their defense is terrible. And I thought their defense actually played really well through last year with Antonio Pierce leading them. And so, look, it's not all on Antonio Pierce. And if anybody's trying to put the full blame on Antonio Pierce, get out. It's not all on Antonio Pierce. Look at the team that they have. But I don't think his leadership was as good as it was last season. And look, even if his leadership was as it was last year, this Raiders team is probably still really bad because their team is terrible. And I think their team is probably worse than he is as a coach. But like I said, I think maybe this team is in the area of 5 to 7 wins instead of 4 if he was as big as a leader as he was last season this year. But this is going to be a key offseason for the Raiders, trying to find the right head coach. What we've learned is Tom Brady's going to be a big part of that decision. He will definitely be helping Mark Davis in that area. And I think in the head coaching decision, Brady will be a big part of that decision. It's crazy that a Fox analyst will be a big part of the decision, but that's our world today, where a owner is going to be deciding who's the Raiders head coach, but that owner is also a Fox commentator. But so Brady's going to be a big part of that process. That's one thing. And then also another thing will be the draft. The Raiders have the 6th overall pick. Right now they're projected to draft Will Johnson, cornerback from Michigan. I think he's a really nice corner. I'm sure that does sound like Brady would maybe pull the trigger on Will Johnson. Brady is a grad, so I'm sure Brady wouldn't mind drafting a Michigan player. But look, it's not nothing there, because Will Johnson is a terrific player. But we'll see who the Raiders target. Could the Raiders potentially, maybe trade up? I don't know. I don't think so, but I think they're probably stuck at 6. But anyways, I think this is going to be a big offseason for the Raiders. I don't think they're going to take a huge jump this season, but I think they definitely could improve going into this next season. Let me know your thoughts on the Raiders firing Antonio Pierce in the comment section, and peace out.